Ever since I started flying FPV in 2016, I've dreamed of opening up an FPV park. Just like a skate park, but in the woods and for drones. Just a little plot, 10 acres filled with obstacles that me and the homies can get together for a weekend, camp out, and fly drones until our hearts are content. Since I'm a broke ass, I decided to crowdfund this, so I started a GoFundMe last October. I intended to raise $70,000 and get a piece of land in the middle of nowhere that just anybody can show up to and fly when they want to. But we raised about half of that, so we had to set our expectations a little bit lower, but we still got 10 acres of land. It's just not as secluded as I'd like it to be. So here, join me on this trip. I went out to look at the land for the first time ever to start making plans for how we're going to do this, and I took my camera along with me. So here's my trip to the FPV park. Good morning. It's like 7 a.m. I know the AC thing's going, it's probably loud. Good morning, it's 7 a.m. I got a rental car, so all there is to do is say bye to everybody and get on the road. Good morning. All right, just a little quick check-in. We're about 2 hours down the road, 2 hours left to go in our 4-hour trip to the FPV park. I'm super fucking excited, man. I ended up not taking the Prius because I don't trust it to drive 8 hours round trip. So I rented this car. I don't know what it is. It's some year, make and model silver car. It's cool. It has like the lane assist thing and really good AC, so that's good. 2 hours left to go, so I'm gonna pop back in the car, get on the road, and the next check-in will be when we get to the land, when we get to the FPV park, or maybe the hotel room because it's pouring rain. We'll see. Holy moly, is it pretty out here. I'm about 19 miles from the land, and this is just like, it's just all the backwoods. This is just back ass little woods roads. Oh my God, my city boy ass needed this, man. This is so fucking pretty. Okay, we're here, man. There's a lot of emotions. I'm feeling a whole lot of different emotions. This is just so fucking pretty out here. There is a so this is like the back. Let me show you. Give me a little tour. So this is where you come in. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like this little road pathway thing. Like there's a bunch of the property down there, but then up top here there's this little road, and that continues on, and that goes down the length of the property. A little road we can drive on, get cars back here, do whatever. There's all this for building fucking gaps and dives, cutting trees down, doing all kinds of whatever we want. I said dive gaps. And it goes back for 10 acres. It's probably I don't know, I'm gonna say 3 acres or so, 3 acres across. It goes back for 9. It's fucking beautiful, man. It is fucking beautiful out here. It's a little bit wet because it just rained. Now this property, it was landlocked or whatever. There is somebody's house in the very front of it. Somebody lives in the very front house, and then that little road kind of goes past the dude's house. So do not just show up here. Somebody fucking lives at the front of this. Do not just show up here. This is private property, but we will be doing our little meetups and stuff out here. We'll talk about it later, but I'm thinking once a month we can have a little camping trip, rip sessions out here or whatever, but do not just show up at this man's fucking door trying to get in here. There's a little creek that runs all along one side of the border, and then the other side, I don't know if I can show you here. The other side is kind of just this incline that goes up, and then the border is somebody else's property. But so the whole thing is basically this incline here, the whole little road, and then all of this. There's a bunch of flat areas. There's a bunch of fucking trees and shit. That is where we're gonna set up like the bulk of the park. And then as you go back farther, it gets a little muddier. Like that would be no problem to drive on, but it does get a little muddier back here. So this is gonna be like 4-wheel only, but the path continues to the end of the property. Yeah, I was gonna walk all the way to the end of it, but I'm not gonna walk all the way to the end of it. But it ends up there, and it's just like this. There's just like this kind of incline shit, and it inclines down into there, which isn't that wide. We can definitely use it for something. This could be like RC car tracks, crawler stuff, whatever. But it ends there, turns back around, and then down the path is where we're gonna have the FPV section. I'm just walking around thinking of the possibilities, man. There is so much. There's 10 acres. It's a long 10 acres, but there's 10 acres that we can do so much with. I think the next step is gonna be putting in just a little bit of a gravel road in the front, like a parking area for everybody, because so it's not just grass and mud, Have a little parking area, start setting up our first like buildings and stuff, our first dive gaps, our first obstacles, and then just, spread from there. We'll start in one end, we'll start setting things up, and we'll spread all the way to the back, make something super cool. So that's just a little tour of the park. It's, my God, let me show you some B-roll, man. It is just beautiful out here. All right, it is super pretty out here, but I didn't really get this land to stand around, look at it, be pretty, got it to rip. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the very first pack ever of the FPV park in right now.
Here we go. Starting off on this tire. Let's just go down the trail. Let's just go down the little trail, bro. Every flight right here is magical. This is so fucking sick. I cannot believe that this actually came to fruition, that we have this land to build a fucking park in. And HC0 is killing it all the fucking way down here. Look at that DVR. Okay, there's the sparkles. There's the sparkles I was waiting for. But let's see how far we were before that happened. A pretty good little clip down this fucking pathway. All right, let's just start going through it. I was going to fly back. I don't care. I just don't want any scraggle and walk. But look at all this shit. This is all like the beginning of the park. Like when you come in, basically, there's all this. So we're going to cut all this down. We're going to use a lot of the lumber to make other obstacles and shit out throughout here. Like I imagine we cut some trees down, like find two next to each other, kind of like this, chop them down, lay a tree over. Kind of like, I think Z-Bones may have had a gap like that at his property. Oh yeah, it already, it comes with some little junk couches too. Look at this. You split this little gap. There's already a couple couches out here. Little fire pit. There's a place to sit. This is where you can sleep, Gelato, when you come out. There's a little couch for you, buddy. Oh my goodness. Just right now, it's all just like scraggle and woods to rip through, but I have plans to build this shit up, man. There's this little like, so this is a little clearing that there is because there are these power poles right here. I don't want nobody ripping anywhere near these wires just in case. Even though they're pretty tough, I don't want nobody ripping near here, but we might be able to build some little like dirt jumps for cars and shit down in here for RC cars, whatever you want. Oh, let's not hit that scraggle. I didn't feel like walking right now. It's come back, I think. Yeah, that's the, so over here, if you look straight ahead, past this path, this is where the dude's house is, like here on the left. So we stay away from there and we really only fly past here. This is all park. This is all park, baby. 10 acres straight ahead of whatever the fuck you want to do out here. FTV, RC cars, crawlers. We're going to have little dirt tracks. We're going to have some jumps and shit. Uh-oh. Don't want to go get that drone. So this is it. This is like the bulk of the beginning of the park. Like I said, this goes back for 10 acres. So this is just the front. This is just the front where we can set shit up. And this is where we're going to start the park. And then it's going to make its way all the way back here. All the way. There's so much. There's so much to this park. This is literally just the beginning, just the opening of it. There's still all this way back here. All of this land. Uh-oh, there goes the video. Look at the DVR. There goes the video. Let's give this some back. But it goes all the way back here, and then you can do whatever you want down here. This is just all at a little bit of an incline. You see what I'm saying? It's not too bad. It's a little bit of an incline. That's why I'm like, the bulk should be at the front, but shit. We can still, it's not like we're going to be walking around it too much. We're just going to be ripping it, so you can set up whatever you want under here. Okay, good way. Good way to end the flight. So, Maddie, the FPV park, you originally came out here and looked at this land before we ever bought it, and you were like, this is cool, we should get it. So, everybody thank Maddie for doing all the fucking work, coming out here originally and looking at it, but now that we're here, we own it. What do you think, man?
Dude, it's perfect. We got this access road. We got plenty of space right in the front that looks like it's really easy to clear out. I mean, I am ready to rip this place. It's going to be super easy to maintain.
Oh yeah, it's on. This is a great fucking Also, I was going to save this till the end, but I don't want to forget, but the homie Ariel is actually the one that found this property for us to even hook up with the fucking realtor in the first place. So Ariel, we literally owe a shit ton to you for finding this property on the internet and suggesting it to us. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, homie. I really appreciate it. Oh, now it's starting to rain. I don't have a plan for the rain. Shit. All right, we're waiting for the rain to figure out what it's doing, but I happen to bring my little crawler car, Axial Bomber, with it's an upgraded motor and ESC and all that shit. I forget what motor. It's the one guy makes in his garage. If you fuck with crawlers, it's that green one. You know what I'm talking about. But like I said a couple times, I don't want this just to be for FPV. Like, we have a lot of fucking space here, and I like fucking with crawlers, so I do want to build like one of the most insane little crawler tracks you've ever fucking seen out here. If you're gonna come out to the park and you fuck with crawlers, help me make something amazing out here. Crawler in the woods, the footage of the thing actually moving, that was Maddie controlling the crawler, not me, so that awesome driving was Maddie Blunt's. All right, it's starting to rain, so we're gonna head out of the fucking park. We're gonna get some lunch, and I don't know why I'm describing my day to you. I guess I'll just show you in a second here. Well, I'm super happy to report that the local pizza place is fucking banging. It's all about the crust, bro. It's all about that dough. And they got that fucking good ass dough, if you know what I'm saying. I'm about to head home. I was gonna stay out here for 2 days, but I have nothing to do the second day. I haven't gotten paid yet, so I can't buy any tools. I can't start working on the land. We're gonna have to do that in a few weeks. But me and Maddie here, we saw a spot. We saw a place that might be fun to rip a little ways down the road here, so we're gonna go check it out. And then I'm just gonna go home, but hopefully I'll show you a rip here in a second. I'm not sure what this is. I think it just maybe somewhere somebody uses for storage or something. All right, somebody that I guess manages that property came over and let us know that we can't fly there, and also that he thinks Joe Biden is a fucking moron. Like I said, I was gonna stay here for 2 days, but I have nothing to do for day 2 except sit in the wet fucking woods. So I'm just gonna drive home. I got a 4-hour trip ahead of me, so let's drive for 4 hours back home in the same day that I drove 4 hours out here. We'll wrap this video up and I'll thank some patrons. And back at the house. Yeah, so like I booked this rental car for 2 days. I was gonna stay out there the whole second day and just like do shit at the park, but then I realized I have no tools. I have nothing to do. Like I'll just be sitting here, and it was raining and shit, so I just drove 4 hours back home. Look at me, I'm super cool. I keep bringing that up. Now let's talk about the park. When I originally had the idea for this, we were gonna have a whole bunch of money and we are gonna have our choice of land wherever we wanted to do it. Basically, I wanted to have it like pretty close to Philly, but we raised half the expected money. We got like $35,000 when I purchased this land. It's 4 hours outside of Philly, and it's not just like, you know, in my head it was going to be just a gate off the side of the road you turn down, boom, go to the park. But somebody's house does sit in front of the acreage, but I paid to have the access road. Like here's the house, there's a little road that goes past the house into the fucking property. Now since somebody does live in the front, I can't just have random people showing up, going past this guy's house and going into the land, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to treat this like, how are we gonna treat this? What I was thinking was maybe once it's all built up and good to go, once a month we'll have groups of like 10 go out there. We'll have like 10 people sign up, you know, you want to go for the month of August, all right, cool. Us 10 will go out there, we'll meet, we'll fly for a weekend, we'll do our fucking thing, we'll hang out. Like once it's all built up and everything. The next month we'll do the same thing, take some people out there. I just don't want anybody like going out there and ruining it for everybody by pissing this guy off, you know what I'm saying? But as you've seen, there is a ton of potential out here. We can build so much cool shit. So I'll keep you updated through this YouTube video on the park and everything. I'm definitely gonna make some more videos as we go out there and build it up and start putting obstacles and get the foundations laid down for where we're actually like camping, driving out to, having the park, having the RC car part and everything. Like it's gonna be pretty freaking cool. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to get updates on this little project that we're doing. And like I said, this is just the first one. This is just the first small little FPV park. I want these to be everywhere. Do you know where there's some land that's available? Do you want to start a GoFundMe? Should we all pitch in now for somebody else to buy 10 acres in Kansas so they can build an FPV park? Let me know in the comments below. So thank you very, very much to everybody that donated for this FPV park. I really do appreciate it. The only reason I can go out and do these projects like the FPV park and make videos every single week is because of my patrons. So I have to say a huge, huge shout out to my top tier patrons. I'm gonna look over here and say Billy Hackett, Don't Comply with Remote ID, Fly Tribe Magazine, J-Rod FPV, Marcella FPV, Patty Cakes, Rick James FPV, Rupert FPV, RT McKinney, Stompy FPV, Trent, TT FPV, Twan Solo, Volatronics, Weebleed FPV, Wom FPV, and Wolf FPV. Hey, thank you very much, Wolf FPV, and everybody else that is a patron. I super appreciate it. If you want to be a patron today, you can go to that link, BOTGRINDER.com/Patreon, become one of those, and then I can keep making videos and try and do FPV parks all over the country. All right, that's the end of this video. Man, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for all potential out here. I think the next plan is we're gonna go ahead and try to lay some gravel in the back so cars can actually drive in there and park and everything, get our first set of obstacles set up and plan out where the camping area is gonna be and just start chopping trees down, cleaning things out. If you wanna be a part of that, hit me up. Let's do some FPV park shit. All right, I promise next time we'll be better. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. I super appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye. So I could do this little talking part, and an abandoned Pizza Hut seems like a good spot.